Hey crafters, this is Paulette in Missouri, and I'm back to share my Father's Day card project. These are made with the Accucut spatula and oven mitt die, and they turned out so cute. I just bought cardstock in different colors that I thought would be fairly masculine, and I cut 2 sheets of every color. And I'll show you how I was able to mix and match my spatulas. So here is how, now ignore these two pieces right here for a moment. I cut 2 of every color, knowing that I was going to use one solid color spatula and cut the other one up. And then my 2 pieces of the mitt make one card. So, and save these little pieces, candles. Okay. So we've got our 2 and 2. Let's do our scoring first. Now, I saved the piece. If you lay your cardstock front side down on your die, you're going to get a really beautiful cut on your top layer, the bottom layer too, but I like to use them the way they went through the die. So the top, you know, the card touching the die is going to be my front. So we're going to do that first. Now when I'm creating something for the first time, I make myself a little bit of plans so I know exactly where to line things up. So we're going to use my plans, and we're going to take this point and we're going to line it up at 2.5. It doesn't matter where the other edge falls. I just want it 2.5 and then the other edge to touch the end. I am going to score at 1 inch all the way across this. So I just kind of start out here in the middle at 3. And just go all the way across at every 1 inch. And this is going to give me this quilted look. Which turned out really fun. Okay, now I've got to backtrack a little bit here and get 2 and 1. Okay. And this looks like this. What's going on with my light here? There, that's a little bit better. Let's turn this other one a little bit more. Okay. Now I'm going to take this very same corner that I started with up here, and I'm going to put it down here on 7 1/8. And then just tip this side up until it touches, and we're going to score it every 1 inch again. Okay, so now we're down to 2 and 1. Okay, I tipped it just a little bit because I took my hand off. Okay, there we go. So very cute, super cute. All right. Now I need to take my glass mat, and we're going to do a little bit of sponging. And I prefer to do sponging on a glass mat. You know, I have done a lot of sponging on cardstock, but if you do it on your glass mat, you use less ink and it goes much smoother. So let's see. I am thinking pumpkin pie for the yellow. You want something that is a little bit darker than the cardstock, but not overpowering. And if you use the Stampin' Up! Stamp pads, now I have the older pads with the fabric sponge. You probably cannot do that with the ones that are that foam. You probably just have to dip in. But if you will, take your sponge and just press it and rub it in a circle, this kind of blends this into your little sponge piece and helps it just be smoother. It just goes on much smoother. Then you can rotate this, get some more ink. Now I'm just going to fill in. If you leave a few little places without the ink, it kind of looks like you know, a used oven mitt that's been washed and worn a little bit. And we're going to be gluing our stuff on top of this, so it does not have to be perfect either. Now, I did take my Close to Cocoa just to go around the edges to define the edges too. And you can take, if you're careful, I took a baby wipe and wiped my mat every time, every different color, because I do not want to contaminate between my ink pads and my sponges. And then we're going to take a little bit of this, and if you do not have this kind of pad, you can just do your sponge here on the corner of your mat. Be just fine. This is just going to define the edges a little bit. You can see how lovely that just happens. Okay. So let's wipe this off real quick. If you clean your mat, it also keeps you from getting gunk on the inside of your card. And I can't tell you how many times I've had that problem. Okay, so let's get rid of our glass mat. And I love to make cards this way. You can take any die cut shape and make a card this way. And I've almost lost my scoring tool. Here it is. I typically score at 3/8 of an inch on the edge. It's just the right amount if you have the 1/4 inch ATG tape runner. It's the perfect width, and I did two rows of adhesive because I don't want these to come apart. Now, I didn't drive very well. You can push the adhesive just with the edge of your finger back into the area where it needs to be. That is one thing I love about my ATG gun. Now, I'm just going to line this up. Make sure my thumb is straight and press that down. I also dried this with my heat tool, so let's do that real quick. Just to make sure that ink is dry. I didn't dry the first one, and I had trouble with my spatula sticking to it, so just dry that a little bit. And it makes it a little curvy, so just work it back into its shape. To save time, I have already stamped and die cut this. This is a $1 stamp that came from a $1 shop, and I stamped that in Ranger Archival jet black ink. And then I used the Spellbinders circle that fit that best. And then the same thing with the inverted circle. I used the one that fit my basic circle best. Now, This, since this is in yellow, this may not work out very good. We could probably do the handle part in yellow. I don't have another color. Let's do the green one. And we'll cut bits off of the black one. You can do these in whatever color you wanted to, but to save time, I wanted to do colors that I could do quickly. So I just cut 2 of every piece of cardstock, and that gave me lots of parts. You know, the ones with the gray or the black seemed a little bit more natural, but it worked out okay either way. Now, if you offset these, I had one that I didn't get lined up right. If you offset those, it gives a little bit more dimension. So that's kind of fun too. So cute. And then I just elevated my spatulas on a little bit of dimensional foam. I probably should have done a couple of layers, but it was so fiddly. I had to cut my foam down to get it to fit in between there. So super cute, super fun. I'm doing a hand scrub, and I saw that on Sarah Martina Parker's blog. And it is the Dawn Olay Rejuvenate dishwashing liquid, and you mix it with sugar. The original recipe is half and half, so 50% sugar and 50% dish liquid, but Sarah said that wasn't enough, and when I mixed it myself, I agreed that that was not enough. I ended up using 8 parts sugar to 1 part dishwashing liquid. It made a lovely hand scrub. For the girls at Valentine's Day, I put them in little sugar jars with lids, and I'll have to shop and see what I can find for the guys. I thought I needed something a little bit more masculine. It may just end up being jars with lids. I may have to just recycle some jars out of the kitchen cabinet. So super cute, super fun, super useful gift. I will actually come back and show that mixing of the sugar and the dish liquid, because I didn't do a very good job on that at Valentine's Day. I ended up using just pictures. So I will actually film the whole construction of that, and then that'll be fun. If you have any questions, be sure and let me know.